Matthew Stafford, I guess, has made it known he wants out, despite what Charlie Castley said on our show. It appears that Detroit is willing to let him go. Dan Campbell, the new head coach there, who wants to cap everybody's knees, has a 6-year deal, and I guess he doesn't believe he needs Matthew Stafford to be part of it.
Well, he knows that Stafford is disgruntled and wants to leave, and he actually wants a chance to compete for a Super Bowl at some point, and he knows it's not happening in Detroit.
He just wants to compete for a playoff spot.
Right. So, I mean, I guess the thought is let him walk, try to get as much compensation as possible. We press the reset button in Detroit. Now, I don't know. I mean, I guess that means them drafting somebody or signing another vet. I would guess it's drafting somebody. But, yeah, I mean, Stafford wants out. He wants to be able to compete and play with a winning franchise.
Yeah. You look at Stafford's numbers the last few years. Again, if you want to chime in, 800-636-1067. This year, 26 touchdowns, just 10 picks. The year before that, 19-5. He only played in 8 games. But before that, very durable. Was playing 16 games every season from 2011 through 2018. Played 16 games. And, you know, usually pretty high in the touchdowns, kind of 25 to 35 range, and pretty low in the interceptions. I mean, he's been a good quarterback.
He's a very, very good quarterback. He'd be a huge upgrade. I just don't know
if
Washington – yeah, well, that's one thing. But I don't even know if Washington would meet his criteria.
They might not.
You know, because we don't have a tradition of winning either. I mean, the Lions and I always goof on the Lions, but I mean, honestly, we've had about the same level of success the last 20 years. So I'm not sure that we qualify for him. But if we did, what do you have to give up is the big question. Now, I give up significantly less for him than I would Deshaun. For Deshaun, you can have whoever you want. I don't care. I'm willing to start over with Deshaun because he's that good. Stafford, he's going to turn 33 in like 12 days. So
yeah, I'm not giving up Chase.
He's a 3 or 4 year solution in all likelihood. He'd be a huge upgrade. You know, obviously I would trade the first round pick for him in 2 seconds, but I don't think that's going to be enough. You're going to have to throw in a player or two and probably another pick.
Correct.
You know,
and some of the other teams that would be interested in Stafford are higher up on the draft slots too. So
yeah,
you're going to have to really, if you really want Stafford, you're going to have to just blow them away.
Sounds like there is some buzz building for him possibly to land with the Niners. And
see, that would make sense.
I mean, they have a great complement of skill guys. Ayuk, I mean, he really emerged in the second half of his rookie season. Kittle, Deebo Samuel, if he can ever stay healthy. I mean, he's got a lot of guys that he could throw to there if that's his landing spot. And another thing about Stafford, for the entirety of his career in Detroit, he's never had any real semblance of a running game. It's always like there was always a stat that they would try it out like on Thanksgiving. Matt Stafford's Lions have gone 30-plus games without a 100-yard rusher at the running back spot. I mean, they've always kind of been piecemealing it at RB. So maybe part of his decision, it's the Lions' decision, but part of what he's looking for is some sort of semblance of a running game. So he doesn't have to do it all like he's had to do in Detroit.
Right.
Where he's had to do
but
all the heavy
if I'm Washington, would I be interested? Absolutely.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm already talking to them, and I'm already gauging their interest. But I think there's going to be a lot of teams that are in these sweepstakes. I think it's going to be very difficult. But there is clearly going to be a shakeup at the quarterback position. There's going to be so many quarterbacks that change teams in this offseason. Washington will get one of them. I don't know if it'll be a Garoppolo or a Darnold or a Carson Wentz. I mean, they're going to get somebody.
Yes.
So
I
you
just
wouldn't
don't know
give
that
up
it'll be
Chase
Stafford.
Young, and I agree with you. If you want to chime in, 800-636-1067, would you give up a number 1 and Montez Sweat?
I would not be sized to do it.
Of course you wouldn't be sized. Would you do it, though?
It depends on if I thought I could get anybody else.
I might give up Sweat, but I'm not even talking about Chase Young.
No, you're not entertaining that. Not for Stafford.
No, but I tweeted that. I wouldn't either.
The discussions are over if the Lions bring up Chase Young.
I agree, but do you say that also for Deshaun? For Deshaun, I would. For Deshaun, I would. I wouldn't want to.
Deshaun's a little different because
Deshaun, I wouldn't want to, but I would. But not for Matthew Stafford.
I don't know.
He's going to be 33.
I'd have to think long and hard about it with Deshaun, but like you said, he's much younger.
Yeah,
I could see the Patriots being involved too with Stafford.
Oh yeah, they're going to be.
I could see them.
There's going to be so much quarterback turnover this offseason. It's actually going to be wild.
All right, let's go to the phones. 800-636-1067. Ahmad's in Ashburn. Ahmad, you're on with the Junkies. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. How y'all doing?
Good. What's up, man?
Hey, man.
Good. All right, so when you look at the Super Bowl teams that we had, the 3 Super Bowl runs, we had a great team, good quarterbacks. So I was talking to my friend about that. So we should go back to that kind of formula, build the team back up, and then later on go make a big splash for a quarterback. Because right now, we need corners, we need a couple safeties, linebackers, linemen. So don't give away the picks. Focus on the team.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
But part of the way you build your team is by having an established starting quarterback, which is something that the Washington football team at this point does not have.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you can get a cornerstone piece like a Matt Stafford without having to give up too much in compensation, you have to seriously consider it.
Right.
Because it would make them a real threat in the NFC if you plug in Stafford and he plays 16 games.
Right. What I'd say is just look at the last Super Bowls. Patrick Mahomes' best, current quarterback in the game. I understand Aaron Rodgers is going to win the MVP this year, but he's been to 2 straight Super Bowls. The last time that Mahomes didn't go to the Super Bowl, he lost to Brady in the AFC Championship game, right? That game went into overtime.
Right, great game.
Mahomes never got the ball back, but Brady in the Super Bowl. I mean, you just, if you go the route of what he said, you're going to probably end up with, if you don't get Stafford, don't get Watson, you're going to probably go with Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke. Alex Smith, is that what you want to do?
Do people think that Ron Rivera is going to be here for 15 years? Okay, he's got like a 5-year window, and one of those years is already burned.
Well, that's what I was saying last week.
So, I mean, you're not going to wait until year 3 or 4 to plug in a quarterback.
No, they're getting somebody this offseason. It's either going to be a high draft pick or it's going to be one of these guys that's switching teams. And there's going to be a bunch of them. There's going to be a lot of quarterback turnover. I just get the sense.
I just wonder if they're
this offseason.
Are they going to be like one of the first people in to try to get a quarterback? Or are they going to bide their time and try to wait and see if
Well, if you wait, then you're going to get you're going
to wait like the Pats and get
you're going to get the Gristle,
or the Saints waited and they were able to sign Jameis Winston on the cheap. I don't know what approach they're going to take.
Let's see what the plan is, because the Lions are going to start fielding offers for Stafford this week.
Right,
that's going to start happening pretty quick. Now, the only thing about Stafford is he kind of doesn't fit the mold of what Rivera likes. He likes that mobile quarterback, and that's not Stafford. But they do need one.
But
they do need one.
He's just a solid guy who would solidify the position. You'd have to tweak things a little bit offensively, I think. But yeah, I think they should be in the sweepstakes. I think they should already be calling and finding out what they want for that. It's going to take a minimum of a first, probably another draft pick, and probably a player.
By the way,
that would be my guess.
If he arrives in Washington, he'll be a very good quarterback, but he will throw you out of a game or two with just ridiculous,
of course he will,
terrible interceptions.
That's what he's done his entire career.
Bad decisions.
Yeah, he'll do that.
So you're gonna, we'll be doing Monday morning shows talking about what the hell was he doing.
Well, that's also because they're probably always behind and grasping.
Right.
I just think it's been a bad nature. He's a gunslinger. That's why, kind of like Mahomes with the sidearm slings and throws from all kinds of different angles and tries to fit them in.
Yeah, I like that. I want that. I want that creativity.
He would also be by far the best quarterback that Terry McLaurin and company have ever played with. If he comes here to Washington.
Well, he'd be the best quarterback we've had maybe ever. I mean, if you think about it. Think about it. He'd be better than Kirk. He'd be better than anybody in this
Why
era.
would he be better than Kirk?
He'd have the highest pedigree. He was the number 1 overall pick.
How is Stafford all of a sudden
better
than Kirk Cousins? They put up the exact same numbers.
I think,
and they don't win in the playoffs.
He's more versatile than Kirk. Kirk just throws a little down and outs and little slants. I limit Kirk to about all that. Yeah, it's 3-step drop, and he's really good at that.
I think they're the same exact player.
To Justin Jefferson this year.
I think Stafford's better.
I would disagree there, but anyway. But when you say versatile, what do you mean versatile? He can't run.
No, more versatile throwing. Just throws more different kinds of routes. I think he's better than Cousins. I don't even think
you've been studying Matt Stafford on film?
No, I mean, just watch it for 10
He's
years.
I do think.
I think
Eric
they're the
Saunders-
exact same.
I know Cousins
I
very
think-
well.
I think both of them can throw it. I think that Stafford has a little bit more of a laser. He's got more of a hose.
He's probably got a stronger
He's more
arm.
versatile, like you
Right.
say. He could drop the arm. He's bigger. He's tougher.
But he probably makes more donk decisions. He just does. Now, he
Maybe.
doesn't have a ton of interceptions, but I just know watching him over the years, he's one of those guys that sometimes makes some just dubious decisions and questionable interceptions.
By the way, Kirk Cousins won on the road in New Orleans last year.
And
Well, I was just saying, you
that's
guys
true.
are slandering him, saying he doesn't win.
That's true. He
playoff
did win a
games.
playoff
guys,
game.
EB's the one.
I didn't say anything about playoff games. I've just said
No,
I've seen the guy.
Jason did.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, in general, he's not been very good.
Kirk Cousins
But
is a
yeah, you're right.
master
He
of
did
the
win in New Orleans.
three-step drop, throw the slant. That's about all he's got in his arsenal.
That's all he's got.
I'll put it this way. I don't think if you get Stafford, it's not like he's putting you over the top. You know what I mean?
Well, I
He's not
think if
that
you
type of
get
player.
Stafford,
Now,
I
he's
think
better than what they got now, but let's see what the other options are.
with this group, and you add Matthew Stafford, now you're a 9-10 win team.
If they
You have
get
that
Stafford,
potential.
they're at
Ooh.
worst the second best quarterback situation in their division, behind Dak if he comes back healthy with Dallas.
Yeah, well, let's see what you have to give up.
Jason, I think you're wrong in the eyes of Washington fans because I saw on Twitter all weekend that if they believe if they get Stafford that they're a legit contender in the NFC. I think J.P. Finley may have even said that.
I think that. And honestly,
I think being a contender's. I mean, are you a playoff team? Maybe. Are you a division winner? Maybe. But being a contender to win a Super Bowl, I'm not going that far.
Well, think about it. Out of the 32 teams in the NFL, I think 20 of them have a legit sweat to make it to the playoffs. Then out of those 20 teams, 10 of them probably have a legitimate Super Bowl sweat. So do you think you're in the top 10 of teams to go to the Super Bowl in 2021?
if you have Stafford,
Yeah.
I don't think Stafford puts you to that level. That's just me.
I think he puts them to 9-10 wins.
I think you're in the conversation.
And let's see what you have to give up, too.
as a-
Because if you're giving up a first-round pick or multiple picks and you're giving up a player, then you're not adding to the depth. So I'm not there on Stafford yet.
All right,
I
let's take a
think
break.
he would make them better, but I'm not saying that Stafford puts him in the Super Bowl. No way.